I was never really a runner. The way I see running is a gift, especially when you have stage 4 cancer. I'm Anne. I'm running the Boston Marathon, presented by Bank of America. I run for Dana-Farber Cancer Institute to give people like me a chance to thrive in life, even with cancer.
Join Bank of America in helping Anne's cause. Give if you can at BofA.com/supportAnne. What would you like the power to do? References to charitable organizations is not an endorsement by Bank of America Corporation. Copyright 2025.
Hi, and welcome to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. My name is Bill Moore. I am a food truck business trainer, author of Food Truck 101, Beginner to Winner, and Food Truck 201, Get Off the Truck. This podcast is all about helping you start and grow your food truck business. All this week, I've been talking about writing a business plan, giving you all some tips and suggestions on how to make your business plan the best it can possibly be. I'm going to be doing a class on writing a business plan next week, and there'll be a link in the description if you would like to be a part of that class. It's offered on Monday and Tuesday, so you have 2 different chances to attend that class. So today I'm going to talk about the last little bit of doing a business plan, and that is actually writing it and some of the information it's going to need to contain. Now, I'm going to shock you, and we're not going to write a full business plan. And what I mean is we're going to write what's called a lean business plan. A lean business plan is usually a handful of pages. It contains pretty much the same information that the full 30-page business plan has, but it doesn't have all the lengthy and repetitive details. If you've ever read a full business plan, they will say the same things in 2 or 3 or 4 different sections, maybe reworded just slightly, but it still contains the same information. So a lean business plan kind of edits out all the repetition. So what a lean business plan should do is it piques the interest and it answers all the basic questions about your business. At the point that you have an opportunity to talk to a banker or an investor, you may need more details. But your passion for your business and your understanding of what's in your lean business plan is going to sell the business to that particular banker or that particular investor. It's all about you and your passion and your understanding of what you've written. If you've had a 30-page, awesome-looking business plan written by some dude in Central America or in the Middle East or somewhere that's not you, well, guess what? It's going to read really nice, but when somebody starts asking you questions about it, you ain't going to be able to answer anything. So let's talk about what a lean business plan needs. So it's going to have a number of sections, just like a big business plan, but we're going to keep everything listed in those sections really tight. So we're going to have the introduction. We're going to place our logo. We're going to have our business mission statement and the address. That's the introduction because that's all it needs. Because the logo explains the name of your business, the address is obviously there, and then the mission statement explains what you're going to do. We talked about mission statements earlier this week. Then from the introduction, you're going straight into team and organization. So when we're talking about the team, we're talking about the owners, we're talking about key staff that you're going to hire or is already on board. You're going to talk about the background of the company, the business structure, whether it's a sole proprietor, a partnership, an S Corp, a C Corp, if you're going to be an LLC, and then you're going to talk about funds that are needed and how they're going to be spent. Then you're going to talk about the basics on any business plan, the problem, and then how you provide a solution. And in our case, we talk about the problems our potential guests might face, and then how our particular food truck is going to solve that problem. Then you're going to go into the menu and the products. You'll link any online menus that you have already developed. You'll include pictures of your main items, and you'll include the menu, and you'll explain how your menu is superior to other food trucks that sell similar products. You'll talk about your marketing, and you'll talk about your marketing plan. You'll list 3 to 4 marketing activities, and then you'll show or discuss your social media, and you'll talk about the reach that you currently have and what your goals are for that particular growth on those different social medias. And we're not just talking Facebook. You're going to list every single social media that you're on with its current number of followers and where you'd like it to be in the next 6 months and a year. You're going to talk about your competition. We talked about you guys going and visiting competition yesterday. Well, here's where you can put all that information down. You're going to list all your direct competitors, especially if they might be setting up near you or setting up in similar places. If you're going to be setting up at a brewery and then they come and set up the next day at a brewery. So you want to list all your direct competitors. You want to explain how your food and your service and your cleanliness and your community, the QSCC, the QSC squared, you want to explain how those are better than your direct competitors and just how they're better than all the other food trucks in your area. You want to get a feel for your competitors' social media, and you want to get observations in real time of who the market leader might be in your area. So who is on social media that's a food truck more frequently than you have been, or who seems to be the predominant person posting or the predominant food truck that's posting. You'll find in most areas there's 2 or 3 food trucks that are really good about social media, and that's definitely somebody's going to be competing with you because they have a whole bunch of eyeballs that are seeing their material, and you've got to cut into that. You should do a strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis of every competitor and include that in your business plan. Then you're going to include some financial information, the typical thing that always freaks people out. We're going to do it with a startup listing the expenses and listing the assets, and we'll do that as a summary. We'll also add graphs that include our sales mix, our revenue, our expenses, and our profit. And if we need to, we can do a full page that breaks it down by each individual line item, the way that a typical food truck business plan does. So you have that outline, and what we would do for each one of those different sections that I just read off is 2 to 3 sentences with bullet points for each section or a short summary for that particular section. You want to ensure that you're able to support anything you put in the business plan, because if somebody's reading it and reading it seriously, they're going to ask you questions. So you need to be the expert on what's in your own business plan. That's why you shouldn't have somebody else write it for you. Since it's a lean business plan, it omits some details that are provided in a traditional business plan. So you want to be sure that you have the market research and any other supporting documents on hand just in case there's questions when they're reading the business plan that you wrote. And again, please make sure you thoroughly understand the supporting information and know how to restate it in your own words. And like I said at the beginning of this, your passion is what sells your business to somebody else. That's what's going to win the meeting. Now, here's the benefits to why we're going to write a lean business plan. First of all, like I said earlier, writing a traditional business plan is just absolutely scary for most people. They don't want to do it because, oh my God, 40 pages and I just can't do it. So they don't. I want you to have something that is a guideline for how you operate. A lean business plan is so much less intimidating. Once you have a lean one, you may be inspired enough to write the 30 or 40 page one. But let's start with baby steps. Let's write this lean business plan. You don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great. Zig Ziglar says that. So a lean business plan benefits your food truck in the following ways. It pushes you to prioritize and focus on key ideas that are important to your business. It enables your plan readers to quickly scan and grasp the core concepts. I promise you, no banker, no investment person is reading 40 pages of a business plan. They are scanning, looking for interesting parts, and that's all they're doing. So let's not torture them with a 40-page business plan. Let's give them something that's quick and to the point. A lean business plan allows you to quickly share your ideas to the investors. That's paramount because now you're respecting their time. If someone was to ask you, well, how come you didn't write a traditional business plan? And you're going to tell them, in the food service industry, it is paramount that we handle all of our resources as efficiently and as quickly as possible. So I wrote a business plan that respected your time, because that's what we do in food service. We don't waste food, and we're respectful of our guests' time. So you're showing a potential investor or a potential banker how you feel about food service industry is how you are handling everybody coming into contact with it and with your business. Provide a solid starting point to expand upon later. That's what a lean business plan does. Like I said, you can write a 30 or 40 page one later if you want. It enables you to document your thoughts and ideas to see if you have a feasible food truck plan without you committing to writing that 30, 40 page document and you're sitting there with writer's block the entire time. So many people just freak out at that. So here's some tips to writing that lean business plan. Set up a time limit, maybe even up to an hour, and focus and work on your plan. Do that 2 or 3 days. You can't just sit and write it till it's done. Break it up into sessions. Ensure that your business plan details the core aspects that are fundamental to running and operating your food truck. The business plan should reflect your personality. It should reflect the business that you're going to be starting. It should reflect the personality of your food truck. And like I said earlier this week, it's a living document. It's going to change over time, and that's okay. It should change over time because as you get better, you should set bigger and bigger goals. And it should also expand as your business expands. So at that point, when you go from one food truck to 2, the business plan has to change. So like I said, we're going to be writing a business plan next week. I've got 2 different classes, one on Monday night, one on Tuesday afternoon. You can join whichever one you like. They will be identical, so there's no reason to be at both of them. And I will have time to answer questions at the end of those sessions. They will be 90 minutes long. There's some prerequisites that you need to do. You got the weekend coming up to do them on if you haven't already done them. But one of them will be your break-even point. The other will be your food costs. Those are 2 key elements that we have to have before we ever get into writing a business plan. Thank you guys so much for listening to the 10-Minute Food Truck Training Podcast. If you're finding all the information helpful to your food truck business, please become a monthly supporter of the podcast. Just hit the support button or follow the link in the description. Every little bit does help keep us going. Join our Facebook group. It's called Food Truck Training. We have a whole bunch of awesome members at all different levels, from brand new beginners to decades-old veterans. They've all got your back when it comes to helping you with your food truck. And again, thank you for listening. Come back tomorrow because you know I got plenty more to say when it comes to helping you and your food truck business grow.